Tell me about your place.
It's pink and green. It's like a pink jungle. Pink and green and turquoise.
And what is it that when you listen with your heart, you hear in that pink and green jungle of yours?
Joy.
Can you feel it?
Yeah, you can hear it and you can feel it. It's just a place of joy. There's
So in,
no,
yeah.
it's beautiful. There's nothing getting eaten here. It's just everything's free.
And what about your presence there? Where are you in all of this
I'm like
presented?
a version of myself is there.
Mm. So what else can you see in that beautiful place of yours where there's so much joy?
Everything is connected through the heart. So you just know all the all the plant life and all the animals, and there's a just one kind of awareness where everything is thriving and it's peaceful.
So you can be yourself at that place,
Hmm. Yeah.
just you. So let me ask you this question. If your place is filled with so much joy, where do you think you are? Even if you knew.
Well, it's another planet. It's not from here.
Mhm.
Another there's a different consciousness here. It's much cleaner and kinder. There's no darkness here. There's no hidden traps. It's pure life, flourishing, abundance. Simple, real simple.
Yeah. So are you experiencing this all by yourself, or are there others with you?
I'm by myself.
Mm. So in this beautiful place you are now, I just want to ask you to sit down or lay down, whatever you want. And just deeply feel that connection with that planet. Close your eyes from the inside out and just allow yourself to make that connection, just to jump in that relationship with that planet. From your heart, soul essence, you connect with the heart, soul essence of this planet, this being. And just feel the planet. When you're ready, you can share something that you experience or feel.
Well, this planet doesn't know darkness. It's like a virgin in a way. It doesn't know manipulation. It hasn't experienced that. So it's really free. However, I know that. I know I have the awareness of that. And I wish I didn't, but I do because of where I'm based. There is a world where that doesn't exist, can't exist. Very different.
Very different from Earth.
Yeah, very different from the systems and domination over this grid, or however that works. It's not there, it's not in this place.
And what is it that you do on this planet? Why are you there?
I'm not sure. I'm not
Let me
sure why I'm
express.
there, but I
Mm,
know it. It's
mm.
it's like home. It's yeah, it's like home, but not in a way that like I know where everything is. It's the abundance of purity is familiar.
What is the relationship that you have with this planet? Just remember.
It's very innocent. Innocence is the word.
Mm.
The relationship is innocence. It's when you meet someone and you're very young and you're just friends. It's just that. It's just perfect. There's nothing expecting. It's just you're just together. Innocent friendship.
Is there something like co-creation on this planet, in this place, in this reality you are in right now?
I am a person in a jungle with the awareness that everything in this jungle is innocent and pure, even the planet itself. And I am there equally. However, I have the awareness of another place that's not so nice. That that doesn't exist in this world. And so the co-creation, no, I don't feel it's co-creation. I just think it's about being there and experiencing real freedom.
So the other experience you talk about that's not so nice, where do you feel that in your body? Where do you store that
It,
emotion probably, or
yeah, it feels like a ghost on the side of me. It's not in me. It's like an external cloud of darkness that's just hovering, like a shadow self, like a shadow or something.
Mhm.
That's how it is being shown to me.
So it's connected to you?
Yeah, but it's like I have a body
Mm,
and then I have my own energy body, and then there's this other body. It's an etheric shadow body, but it's not mine.
mm,
It's just housed itself on the bodies that are in this place. It's like part of the, I don't know. It's just part of the, it's just there.
mhm. So just stand still for a little moment, okay? Because we need to explore this part of, yeah, it's not part of you, but it's with you. So if you take the time to look at your body on that planet, we start there. What kind of body do you have?
On the planet, it's dark skinned with curly blonde hair, tanned, natural looking, jungle type looking person.
Are you male or female?
Female,
Mm.
no shoes, just grounded completely to the ground and to the earth itself, connected to the trees. It's just like very earthy, grounded freedom. of expression. The body doesn't have any elements. So like a monkey, but not a monkey, like just
Mhm.
very easy.
But what can you tell me about your consciousness in that physical body?
It's just happy.
It's just happy.
Hmm.
Yeah. Because the ecosystem that you're in is making you happy.
Yeah,
So you are connected with all in that ecosystem, with all life forms.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Hmm. So in that body, you said you have another body.
In my body on this bed, in
Hmm.
this earth, I do. I'm aware of it, but in that body, there's no other body. There's
Okay.
just, it's the freedom. That's the freedom. There's no echoes or shadows or ghosts of the past. There's no past. It's just there. It's beautiful.
So if you take a look at your life as Biba, right?
Hmm.
How can this being, this dark-skinned, curly blonde female, help you, support you, or just share her knowledge and wisdom with you? What is it that you need, that you gain from her? She's in your body.
It's a clean awareness that hasn't been contaminated, or no mind control is the word, probably. None.
Mm.
No mind control. Like free from traps. Just
So,
organic.
mhm. And just for my information, this dark cloud that is not a part of you, but that's attached probably to you. On what body is that? On the dark skin, curly blonde female, or just on you, Biba?
On me personally here in on the earth as a girl, you know.
Okay.
It's yeah, it's part of it. Just seems to be when you come in, you get that. It's just there.
Mm-hmm.
It
So,
kind of
yeah,
follows you around.
yeah, we need to. I write it down because we really need to pay some attention to that part that's there. But first of all, before we do that, I just want to know something more about that clean awareness where there's no mind control. That part is in you and it's just presenting itself to you to inform you because your intention is what is my deepest potential, and I really want to extract that knowledge and wisdom from that part of you.
Hmm.
So I want to talk to that part of you. Just allow your thoughts and your voice for that female. I'm going to count from 1 to 3. And within 3, your consciousness is fully present as that dark skinned female. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. There are you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, can you tell me a little bit more about yourself and what it is that you do? Who are you?
There's not really a self. It's more about everything altogether, included, no separation. There's no need to be separate because everything is cohabiting together. All of life is singing the same song and everything is playing the same symphony. It's like we're all part of the same piece of music. Everything is in perfect accord. It's riding on very high frequencies all the time. And it's not, even if there was an orchestra, there's not one instrument that's out of key. So the self, if I was to become myself, I would think of myself as an instrument in an orchestra. And then I just think, well, I'm going to play this tune because it just plays naturally. I don't have to try to be anything other than be part of this. whatever this is, it just has its own life. And you don't have to try. It's just happening for you and about you and through you and to you. I'm just here enjoying it and witnessing it, really.
So you're in a natural flow of love and life and light.
Yeah,
It doesn't cost you any energy because you're in the, yeah, in that beautiful music of the spheres.
yeah, exactly. There's no effort. I don't have to think about what am I going to do because it just keeps unfolding in front of you. What needs to happen happens organically. There's no effort involved. There's no force. There's no planning. There's no mind here. It's just life flourishing in abundance.
If you can take a look from the perspective of being a human being on Earth, can you just say that you are beyond the void, the great void, like the Matrix?
It's nowhere near the matrix.
Mm,
The matrix is oblivious to this.
mhm.
It's not, can't comprehend it because that's all in the mind. It's part of the structure of the mind. Here, there's no mind. And it doesn't mean that nobody or anything's not thinking. It's thinking about what's the next best thing to experience together.
Ah, together.
It's all together. There's no one single thing here that's on its own or is making it happen. It's a collective consciousness. Yeah.
So what is it that is your experience as this being you are?
Well, I get to move about as in a body as a person, but I don't move about thinking, where do I need to go or what do I need to do? I just get to move about and experience the joy that the flowers are expressing, or to experience the consciousness of the birds talking to each other, like I can talk to the birds. The birds don't just talk to other birds, we're all communicating with each other in our minds. And when you asked me to lie down, the earth, the nature was listening to you, and so it morphed itself into a bed for me to lie down in. So I didn't have to go and look for a bed. It was presented to me to take that space because you asked it to.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's cohabiting, or I don't really know the word, but it's no mind here, separate from anything other than beauty
So you,
and
yeah,
harmony.
you can just be.
Yeah.
So if I asked you to give information that's important to Biba, what would you say? What is it that you want to share with her?
It's a little bit difficult because when you're in an environment that's different to this environment, you have to kind of go with that environment. When you're in Iceland and it's snowing, you can't pretend it's not snowing. You can't you can't go to the desert and go skiing. You have to be aware of your environment. So the environment, the over layer environment on the earth is hostile. It's a hostile, fake, hostile environment. But the organic natural is as beautiful as here. So it's all about sound. So the mind is tuning into the fake hostile environment because it's in everything. You can see it, you can taste it, you can feel it, you can hear it, you're brought up in it, you go to the hospital to visit someone, there's protocols, it's everywhere. So my advice would be to know that you're not a mind. If you train yourself to not operate from your mind, to not listen to your mind, because the mind is controlled in that grid. Even when you're meditating, the mind is playing games with you. And you do get breaks and you do get freedom from it. But when you learn to operate, meaning live from your heart, your inner self, not even your heart, but your inner, deeper self, when you operate from that place, you can experience the organic way of life, the natural organic way of life, that beautiful harmony. But the mind will never understand that, because the mind is designed to, it's like a video game. It's designed to play that video game. Mind is brilliant at navigating the obstacle course. It has no comprehension of harmony and telepathy. Telepathy isn't in your mind. Telepathy comes from your inner organic knowing. And when we operate from the inner organic knowing, you must ignore your mind. It's the mind is the game. If you want to get out of the game, you have to ignore your mind. And that takes daily training, daily practice. For example, you wrote an induction specifically for Biba's mind in order for her to know she's not a mind. It was like the most perfect induction, because the mind is listening. The mind is trained. It's like a dog. It knows that the owner will pretend it's going to give it a biscuit. It knows it's going to be tricked, so it's always a little bit on guard. So your induction began with the mind, but it sunk right into the heart. And when it did that, the mind subsided. So you have to learn the language of your induction. It was a beautiful intro from the mind to drop into that natural organic state. It's like you kind of got to trick it in a little bit. And when we understand the mind, it will never bring joy. It will bring achievements, which do they bring joy? Do they? Does becoming the greatest, whatever that is, bring the greatest joy? Does having it can create achievements and there's satisfaction, but real joy where your body is at peace, your sleep is at peace, your digestive system is at peace, your heart is at peace, and then you get a message from someone and it just doesn't feel right, but it seems okay, but your inner knowing is like, that's just something off in that message. But the mind will go, hey, relax, you're overthinking it. It's learning to distinguish between the two. And when you learn to distinguish between the mind and the natural organic way of life, you can become very quick at knowing what's what, and not to get sucked into the achievements and all the information. There's so much information. And that keeps you in the mind, unfortunately, is all the information about your planet and everything on your planet. And there's a lot of information, and you're all intoxicated on information, because that's the plan, isn't it? To keep you in the mind. How many podcasts can you watch? How many podcasts can you make? How many discussions can you have? How many things can you figure out? If all of those things didn't exist, the mind wouldn't be so busy. But it's busy. It's been given a full-time job to think. And so my answer would be to learn to live in the natural organic way of your life. And I guess that would be your heart, if that's what you wanted to call it. Your intuition, your knowing, your sensing how somebody seems, even if they say they're fine. They're not fine. That's the natural organic way of life. And going, it's okay. I'm glad you're doing well. You don't have to go, are you sure you're okay? They're not, but you let it go, because they're not ready to. You love them where they're at. They don't need to be pushed or poked or held. They just need to be left alone sometimes. It's just understanding that and not imposing what the mind thinks they need because of expectations or passions or abilities, education, helping people. Lots of people don't want to be helped. They don't want to be helped. The ones that want to be helped are the ones that get it and they make the changes. They get the message and then they go and make the changes. The ones that aren't getting the message, they don't want help. They're just entertaining themselves. And that's okay. But you can't keep working or helping people like that because they're not really in it. Their heart's not in it. Their mind is entertained by the whole concept of spirituality. But when somebody wants it, when they want to live in the natural organic way of life and they've tried everything else, they get it. They get one word can change their whole reality. And they're the ones that you really want to work with because that's when oceans of change can come through one person into this world. Oceans of change, like a whole forest and a whole jungle can appear through that person that will just be flourishing for so many other people to be around. It's not engaging and spending your time with the ones that aren't really invested. How do you know? Because you know. You just know. Your mind doesn't know, but you know. Your essence knows. Always just trust that, follow that, invest your time into that, and everything else that doesn't feel good, just stay away from it. Not important.
I know that she had a lot of experiences with people who wanted something from her, and she felt it. It didn't feel good, but she went through it anyway. Is that what you mean when you say you need to feel and respect everybody's journey where they're at, but you need to feel with your heart and not think with your mind when you say yes to that typical client who really wants a session?
You know, you know in the phone call, you know on the email, you know by the email address. You just know. When you get an email, if you allow yourself, you know how that session's going to be. And you can go wherever you want and be with whoever you want. However, if you want to live in the more natural, organic way of life, find those people, amplify that reality for yourself because one mind and two minds is a bigger mind. One heart talking to another heart person is a bigger heart space. When you work with somebody who wants to change, like they're invested in making the effort and they're not coming to you for help, they're coming to you to work on themselves. And you're going to witness them work on themselves. Working with those people changes realities, it changes timelines. Otherwise, otherwise you're just entertaining people because they don't really want to change. They want to experience, what are you doing here? What's this all about? This sounds fun. And that's okay. But when Jesus said in the Bible, where two or three are gathered in my name, I'll be there also. And what that means is when you are connecting with somebody who has the same intention as you, the same conscious awareness, you are in an amplification of that energy, and it's a very beautiful place to be. Or you could be at a funeral, let's say, where everyone's grieving, and then you're grieving much more than you normally would because you're in an amplification of grief. When you're with somebody who has expanded awareness and you want to work with them, your awareness will expand way beyond anything you've ever known before because you're in an amplification of expanded awareness. Mm. And so when you can attract more of that into your life and be more of that, then you'll have a better experience.
Right. Thank you so much.
Easy,
But
isn't it?
yeah, it's simple, but she already knew that, I guess, because she's so intuitive feeling and she just knows. But I'm wondering why you are sharing all this beautiful information with her. What is it that she really needs to grasp, really needs to gain? Because her intention is to get to know what her deepest potential is. And I guess you are here right now just to shine that light on that deepest potential. So is it okay that we take a look at that deepest potential then?
Yeah.
What is it that you see when you look at Biba? Do you see her deepest potential?
Yeah, I see her as she is her deepest potential. But the issue she has is she sees the games. She sees it all. She sees it for what it really is, whether it's in a conversation, whether it's in a movie, whether it's in a song, whether it, she sees it. She she can read the energy of things like like a laser. She can scan something instantly and read the energy of it. And she's doing this all day in her environment, and she does it with hundreds of things at the same time. And it's very disencouraging because there's a lot of nonsense with things that are the way things are presented. And so the highest potential is to, it's like you got to break glass. You got to go beyond what you're witnessing and what you're experiencing and overcome it, because it's like when you, did you ever see that movie? I never saw it, but you put glasses on, and when he puts the glasses on, he can see the hidden meaning behind everything.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, there's an old-fashioned movie. That's what is the experience for Biba. She can see the hidden message behind everything. And it's really not very good. And when it is good, it elevates her a lot when somebody is coming from the heart and she could see them for
Mhm.
who they really are. But in this world, you have to get through a lot of rubble before you find that in a day. And so, for example, she was in a Pilates class yesterday morning and she had the machine beside the windows and she was watching the skies being sprayed, and she's overcome that. She tries not to let that annoy her, but this was a perfectly blue day. And everybody in the class was so happy that it was going to be a really sunny day. And they were all sharing what they were going to do on this beautiful sunny day. But she knew in 1 hour's time there's going to be no sun because of the sky will be covered in fake clouds. She knew that, and that happens with everything all the time. She knows things that other people don't know before they happen, or it's not a gift, it's not a premonition, it's not like that. It's just a, you just know, you just can call out the crap, and that can be very dense energy because you're living in it. And so the highest potential is like breaking the glass and traversing all of that noise and being free in that. That's the highest potential. Not allowing that to influence your energy field at all. When you have good friends and suddenly you realize that they're not for you anymore, you don't really want to let them go because you've had to let all the other friends go. And you're thinking, well, it's not lining up for me anymore. The energy's different with them, but you hold on anyway. Or you're in a job, you're kind of like your job. There's no compromise here. It's being your highest potential is being uninfluenced by your environment and your mind. And that is a that's your deeper self living in this realm. That's a tall order, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is.
Yes, it's a very tall order. So, you could try it.
Hmm.
You can try it.
But I'm just curious, and I hope you will have that same curiosity as I have, because she is here on Earth and she is experiencing all of this. But she also has this part of who she is that is you.
Yeah,
And you have all these beautiful experiences like no mind control, just clean awareness. And you're bringing all this beautiful information to her memory, to her knowledge as she is living her life on Earth.
yeah.
So, my question is then, how will her life change if she puts all this information into her life? Just like a way of life.
Everything changes. Everything will change.
So
Where
it's
she lives,
important. Yeah.
where she lives will change. What she does will change. How she dresses, everything will change because we get into habits, familiar habits of the way you dress, the way you where you live. It's all very familiar, and it's as if it's going to be like that forever, but it's not like that forever. You've picked a template to work from,
Hmm.
and your deepest potential doesn't have a template.
So if
It
she
just
wants, yeah, but if she wants to give expression to that deepest potential, she needs to change all that, to change her
no,
template.
she doesn't need to do anything. It happens organically.
Okay.
You know,
So,
that there's no effort in it.
mm-hmm.
That's the difference. There's no effort. It just life does it for you, like the leaves made a bed for me. It just happens because you're living in organic. It's harmony.
Mm.
So nature has to bend towards you. It's just like the natural way of life. That's the way it is. You're supported, and then the mind goes, "But what about this?" And then you're back in the loop.
Just as easy.
Just as easy. That's the mind
Mm.
control. The
Yeah.
mind, that's the mind controlling the outcome.
Hmm.
It's not like mind control. I've been hypnotized by the subliminal messages in the TV since I was like 10. Yeah, there's that, but there's actually your own mind is trying to control your life by you drive the same way every day. You wear your favorite runners, you eat certain meal. It's like it loves the control of order. But when you have the organic way of life, you don't want to even drive. You may you may want to do something else. You may not even want to live there. It just your thinking changes into knowing. You go from thinking to knowing. And in the knowing, there's no questions about what if this happens. And that is an enormous shift in consciousness. And you just have to get used to that. Now, she's already doing that to a degree, but is the mind is stuck in observing the bullshit narratives that are everywhere all day, every day, in people's conversations, in the news, in the TV, in the media, in the music, in the food, in the skies, in the water. It's like she's distracted by this mind game. It's a minefield. And it's so unbelievably toxic when you see it for what it really is that it's it's almost like a trap because when you don't see it, you're trapped. And when you do see it, you're more trapped because it's mesmerizing how deep it goes. But if you can know that that's just for a period of time in one place at one time, and you're not a body and you're not a mind, and you're only there for a short period of time, that when you leave that place, that just all dissolves. So you can be free in it, but it's really about being vigilant with your intentions and your actions, reactions, and your thoughts. Vigilant, like when the phone rings and you see the name on the phone, you don't go into a feeling. There's no feeling, happy, sad, anxious, nervous, whatever. There's just a name on a phone. Hey, how can I help you? That's the answer. Open, no expectations, no preconceived, no knowing. And now she has the ability to know what that person wants before she talks to them. She has to let that go. That's the work. How do you let that go?
Mm.
How do you let that go? That's her work. That's something she has to learn to do herself. That's the soul's journey, unique to each person, where they're at in their soul's development. That can't be told to anybody. That's something that is so. We are we are many souls in one container in this universe. We have millions of souls, let's say, thousands of souls. And it's not like we're all different. It's the same soul having different fractals all over the place. When when one of those soul fractals aligns, it calls to itself all the others that are on the same, playing the same tune. But you can't say to this soul fractal, hey, if you did this, that's the way that goes. I'm like this because this is where I'm at, because I've developed that. I'm here because of my own conscious awareness. This is something that has to be experienced individually and then known. You can't tell somebody how to do something, even if it's the higher self or the soul, other soul fractal. It has to be, you're not going to get a deck of cards that's going to give you all the answers. This is moment by moment choices. That's how it works. It's a moment by, because I can say, well, if you do this, this, and this, that's great. But then you forget that. So the advice is great, but it gets forgotten. The advice can be given, but you've got to just make a choice to live free from everything that you've ever known before, free from fear, even love, free from everything you've known. Just live differently, expect a different outcome, say a different mantra, watch a different podcast on a completely different topic that's got nothing to do with anything you've ever listened to before. Change it, and make it expand your field, so you're not stuck in the mind control of spirituality or Bitcoin or you know, health hacks. You know, people have different things that they're into. Maybe like for a month you watch something on like the nature of birds, you know, something that you've never done before. That's how you change it up. Do something very different
Mm.
every day.
Okay, every day. Yeah,
Yeah,
because otherwise you get stuck in the loop again
yeah, exactly.
and you have to really shock the system
Yeah, day, new person.
because you have to do all different things just to fuck the mind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
because it adjusts. The mind adjusts. It just
Hmm.
finds another way to manipulate you or just get you in that loop, stuck in that loop.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that is wonderful advice. And she really needs to work with that every day, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. To in order to because she is her deepest potential, but she just needs to remember. And this is the way to do it.
Yes, it is. It's the way to do it, because then you don't get, as you said, your mind can't catch you because it
Mm.
doesn't know what to expect. it's like if I take the dog to the same park every day, well, I may as well put a blindfold on the dog because it knows where it's going.
Yeah.
But if I take that dog to a different mountain every day, that dog is on an exploration. It's more excited, it's more alive. And it doesn't have its like favorite place to go to the toilet or its favorite little lake to swim. It doesn't have a favorite anything. There's no habits. It's just constantly exploring. And I will say this with Biba because she is tired, you see.
Mm.
She's tired of trying to make it better and to live in more balance and but the tiredness is the mind in full control. The mind has you now. It's like, yeah, what's the point? Just keep everything as it is, you know?
Mm.
And it's gotten too comfortable. So when you go out of your comfort zone every day, then that's the key. It doesn't have to be big, like climb a new mountain every day. It could be go to a different restaurant,
Mm.
meet a different friend, write an induction that you never normally would use and just test it out. Work with a client that you normally really probably wouldn't take. Like mix it up.
Yeah,
And
just
then
yeah.
and then life can work with you more. Then the organic, natural way of life can get in touch with you more because you're more open-minded.
Yeah. And
You're
you can
more reachable.
experience joy then in
Mhm.
everything you do.
Yeah, like more joy.
Yeah.
And here it is as well. It's not about wanting to experience joy because that's an expectation. So say if you wake up and you're not feeling joy, well then the mind goes, you see, that's not working, is it? You see, so you when you wake up and you're feeling tired or sad or just off, allow it to be like that. Because the mind then can't go, well, you're wasting your time. So when you have an off day or an hour or whatever, or work or whatever, the whenever it's not feeling, don't have an expectation to be happy and to be in joy. Just be. When you have an expectation, the mind will get a hook in.
Mm.
It's waiting for you to mess up so it can go back to what it loves to do, which is your gifts and your abilities. So she has a wonderful ability to know things and see things and sense things. That's also not a gift because there's also a lot of darkness to see and sense and know. So your gift is you can see the talents and abilities that people have, but you can also see all the other stuff as well. So don't know. You don't need to be right. You don't need to know anything. A little bit like when that dog goes into the mountain, it's not trying to be a dog, cool dog, hot dog, in case it sees another dog. It's just going for a walk. It doesn't really have any expectations. It's just happy to be outside. And then there's a lot of freedom in that. And, I'm talking like you don't have a mind. There's always something to contend with. But Biba's always had the expectation that when she freedom equals happiness, that's not necessarily true. What is happiness? Why not just seek freedom? Why not just seek freedom? And freedom from what? Well, that's individual. That's an individual choice. But for her, it's from the mind, which includes all the mind games, all the programming, all the control, inner and outer, and above and below. That's freedom. And so she said, I'd like to be free and happy and wealthy and healthy and well and everything else that's on that list. Why not let all of that go and just be sovereign to yourself?
So what are the great experiences that she has created for herself just to get out of that mind control? Can you tell me
She,
a little bit more about that?
Stay with that question for a sec because she's listening to me going, whatever. She's listening to me now going, oh, that sounds like another 50 years of climbing that mountain
Mm-hmm.
to try and, because, you know, some people aren't dominated by the mind and they just kind of are in a job and a relationship and they're happy. They're really happy with their lot. Biba's never had that. The mind is so active and it's so busy, all about consciousness exploration. It's always been like that. It's like allowing allowing the idea of having to be anything go, not needing to, and this could sound a bit flat, but not needing to experience better anything, just experience being, because being, there's everything in being.
Mm-hmm.
It contains all of it. And just the act of simply being is where it all is. It's when the expectations of being free or being higher vibrational, right? All those spiritual phrases that everyone's saying, like, implies there's something missing. There's nothing missing. She is her highest potential. She has to just allow herself to be, to experience that, her deepest potential, whatever it be, and it changes all the time. What right now she wants to retire and go and live in Portugal and have loads of money. That's her highest potential in her mind.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah.
tomorrow it could be something completely different. So not to get caught up in wanting to become something or find something or be in harmony with something, just being in it, whatever it is, and trying to allow it to just be the way it is without having to fix it or change it or know it or predict it or allow it penetrate your being. I don't really know how to articulate it, you see.
Mm.
I don't really know how to send the message over because I don't think I can. I don't think I know how to do that.
But I think she understood everything you said. She felt it.
Hmm.
She just needs to do it. It's that simple.
Yes,
So I want to thank you for all the information that you shared with us
thank you.
and make it happen for Biba just to be, you
Yeah,
know,
like a
without
change.
any effort,
Hmm.
without any hard work. And I
Yeah,
just want to see with Biba in this session for what it is that is attached to her, if it's okay with you.
sure.
Good. Thank you so much. So, Biba, I just want to ask you a question because you said to me that this dark cloud is attached to you from the moment you just came on this earth, right?
Yeah,
So I just want you to take me back to that first moment when you realized that you were on earth and this dark cloud was right next to you. I'm gonna count from 1 till 3, and by 3 you are there at that time in that specific moment where you noticed just with your awareness that this dark cloud is there. 1, bring yourself to that point in time. 2, 3, you're there now. Where are you?
I am. Well, it looks like I am in nowhere land. It's dark.
Mhm.
I'm in a space that's in between
How does,
worlds.
yeah, between two worlds, yeah.
Hmm.
So in that space, Just look around and just feel what it feels like to be there.
Yeah, you see, I can already feel the anticipation.
Mm.
It's like when you come into this earth, it's like you get a stamp. It's like a system stamp, like a frequency. And you can't kind of get through the barriers without, you can't skip in a side door. Well, not that I'm aware of. And the anticipation is knowing that that's there upon entry. It's like a sound that's always playing in the background. It's like a very subtle noise. That's kind of what it feels like. And it's just part of the deal of in this realm, in this world. It's like you go in there and then you're part of that world in there. That's always going to be there in that world in there. That's the feeling that I have. And it's like, fuck's sakes, if I could just like, how do you get in? Like, I interviewed a man who's a walk-in and he said he got in without that because he didn't come in through a body. He came in through a body that was halfway through a life. So he skipped that part.
Mm.
Yeah, that was clever.
But there was an agreement too.
Mhm,
So in your case, and in my case probably, we needed to go to that system and we got that stamp.
mhm.
So what's that stamp? What's in your dark cloud? Let's take a look what's inside of it. What did you bring here? What's that agreement?
And well, if I have a look at what is the kind of, it's an imprint, and the imprint is, I don't know whether it's part of in the DNA or, but it's basically like code of rules that there is a hierarchy that you are under a certain, you're not free or sovereign is the kind of vibe I'm getting.
Hmm.
You'll think you are, but you're not really. That's it's just to let you, why on earth would you go into a place and have an imprint on you? That's the kind of, it's just even the motion of that is letting you know that, when you go through the passport office and you have to go through the scanner and look in the scanner with your eyes before you can go into the country. That's the vibe. It's like, yeah, yeah, we know we're being watched.
Mm.
That's the vibe. It doesn't really have words. It's a feeling. It's a being watched feeling.
Okay, but how does this affect your life? What?
Because how it affects my life is my deepest potential exists outside of that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And how do I smash that glass? How do you live here as your deepest, highest potential without going through the scanner? Like that's my mind is trying to figure that out. And I know it's not a job for my mind, but it's trying to figure that out.
Can I ask another question?
Please ask questions.
Yeah, because what is it in your deepest potential that is so interesting for the system that it gives you an imprint just for you not to remember who you really are or what you are, you know?
Yeah, but that's for everybody.
Yeah, I know, but in your case, I would just want to look at your case because what is so interesting in your deepest potential that you are bringing here in this reality, in this realm on earth as Biba? Just take a look at that one. Just allow yourself to see, really see from your heart. What is it that you carry in yourself and you brought here in this reality? What makes you so you?
Well, when I see that, it's I. I can see it's an energy, it's a frequency, and it's a frequency of remembering. And so I would be able to mirror to others the remembrance of what they are.
Mm.
And so it's like waves of change, waves of remembering, not waking up, because you can wake up to lots of things. You can have a spiritual awakening that you're not a body, and then you can get trapped in the astral realms. I'm talking, and that's okay, but this isn't about waking up. This is about remembering prior to the scanning machines, let's say.
Mhm.
And when I allow myself to be my deepest potential in this world, in this particular world, I transcend this world and I influence the worlds within worlds within worlds.
Mm.
And it's fractalizing itself out. I don't want to go too off into kind of that language, but it's other people around me can see that and then they remember. And then it's on and on and on it goes.
Yeah.
That's the problem, isn't it? For somebody who doesn't, for a system that doesn't want that to happen.
Hmm.
It's like the
So,
lights go on.
yeah,
Mm.
but you spotted it because
Mm-hmm.
your intention was to really know what your deepest potential is. So this is a part of knowing what that potential is and the way yeah, they just imprint something on you so that you cannot reach that deepest potential. But you
Yeah.
saw it, you know.
Mm-hmm. I
So,
see it. Well,
yeah, so now you see it.
yeah.
How can you, with your big energy, like you are a creator being, just make it go away? Just claim all your energy back, all your remembrance, and just say, it's okay. I don't need you anymore because I see and I
Yeah.
remember. Because it's time for me to just live my deepest potential.
That's very good. And here's the thing. The deepest potential isn't being something
No.
or doing something. It's just allowing. It's wherever it's not about working in hypnosis or in a spiritual circle. It's got nothing to do with that at all. That's just something else. This is not like that. This is a light frequency transmission that you are just radiating a signal like remember who you are. And that signal will hit off the people who are ready to remember. And you may not even ever speak to that person, but you may be sitting beside them
Mm.
in a bus or in a shop or in a supermarket queue. You may be so when you're out of the mind and you're not pissed off at everybody for going so slow and you're just standing there and you're not even hungry and you're not thinking about all those things, you're just radiating your deepest potential. If they're ready, they will, you will, it's like when the mirror reflects the sun.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what it's like when you hold a mirror up to the sun. It's blinding to your eyes. It's a silent thing. It's never spoken. There's no amount of quantum healings could do that. No amount of ayahuascas. This is a remembrance, and a remembrance happens when the soul is ready to drop in. And that's really beautiful because there's no effort involved. You can't figure this out. You could be a shoe shiner and be as effective
Mm.
as a shaman in Peru, ayahuasca shaman. Doesn't matter.
And now
It's
that you
what it
said, yeah,
continue.
and now that you said all that, what happens to the cloud?
Doesn't exist.
No,
It's not there.
no, because your soul has the perfect timing and it's now.
It definitely is now. And it's the now dissolves the illusion of what that was.
Yeah.
It's an illusion.
Good for you.
Good for you.
Good for you, really. So
That's
now that
good.
is, yeah, come say, what did you want to say?
It feels like I feel very different. Like I feel like I've drank some light fucking drugs or something. I feel like I've drank something that contains light, is how I feel. Like I feel it. I feel different.
Where do you feel it in your body, Biba? Where is it that you feel it the most?
Well, it's in my body and it's outside of the body because
Okay.
it's actually like it's my whole energy field, which is meters outside of my body. So
Mm,
from my body to way out.
mm. So if you're feeling all that, I can imagine how big that effect is going to be on your ecosystem and beyond that in this universe, everywhere, because you just gave yourself permission just to be and just remember, and this is what you are doing for the people that you also meet. Doesn't take any effort for you because you are it.
And also if you think of somebody, like you don't even have to be next to them, like you can think of somebody.
Mm,
Do you ever like think of somebody you've never met? Or Viva's always having experiences where is in another, she's in someone else's room or something. It's like, or she can see things. It's like remote viewing, or I don't know how to describe it, but she can be in another person's body having an experience, and that can happen several times a day. And that can also penetrate that person who's having that experience.
Let me ask you this one, because you are in this state right now. Are you talking about parallel lives? Lives that you lead? Just the first answer that comes up to you.
I don't know. I don't. They're all in this earth. They're other people. It's like I'm looking out through the eyes of other people.
And what
And
is
it's
it? Yeah,
not good. They're
it's
always people that need help.
okay, but just take a little look deeper then. You know this. Do these people ask you for help? Is this like an agreement that you made with these people?
I don't know.
Yeah, your mind doesn't know. I know.
Do you? What do you know? How?
Just allow yourself just to get the straight answer from your heart because it's very important to know if this is like a co-agreement between you on soul level, what is it that you do when you help these people? Is this something they need from you, or is this something they have to carry their own responsibility in that process?
Well, I could be dropped into a moment in somebody's life. It's like I don't know who they are. I don't even know where they are, but I'm looking at, I could be, it's like it happens a lot. And I used to think it was all my experience or it was my childhood or it was my part of my life. But now that I'm older, I know it's got nothing to do with me. I'm able to phase in and out of other people's consciousness. I'm able to do that. And I think we all are, but I can remember that sometimes because I'm not like five, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like in a cot or I'm not a man crossing a road with someone I don't love. Like I now know that they're not my experiences. I don't know if they're parallel. All I know is that I now know how to just go, I'm not interested, and I shut it down
Yeah.
because I don't know. I think it's just the multidimensional nature is just consciousness is just running through.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to keep bringing myself back to myself.
Yeah. Center yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, I do that a lot, and it's perfect. Like I don't want to have to be living in someone else's moment.
Does it cost you anything? Like
It
energy?
Yes, it does,
Yeah.
because sometimes it's very stressful. Like you could be in a war zone, or you could be getting attacked, or you could be heartbroken. And it does happen in the good, but they're moments, they're not my moments. They're not Biba's moments, should I say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's yeah.
I could be with my daughter in the car having a lovely laugh about something, and then suddenly I'm somewhere else in someone else's body getting raped. So it deeply influences my energy field. So then I have to come out of that world and go back to my daughter. And she'll go, "Are you okay?" I go, "Yeah, yeah, I'm fine." And then it's gone. It's really intense. It's not like, oh, I'm, looking at daisies. It's intense stuff. I think it's like, I don't know what it is. Actually, it could be remote viewing. It's just consciousness. It's multidimensional consciousness moving through different levels of awareness in this bandwidth of frequencies that we are all frequencies. In like we're living inside of a radio, we're all tuning into different things. So,
But what if, and just feel this one, okay?
okay, yeah.
What if these are all parts of you, aspects of you, having these experiences, and there's something pending probably, and you just have to integrate these experiences?
Do you mean like fractals, parallel lives?
Yeah.
Well, do you know what I would say? I would
Mm.
say go and figure your own shit out, because
Okay.
I've got enough on my plate.
That's a
You
good
know,
answer.
it
Yeah.
is. It's like, no, like, if a part of me says to me, help, I'm in,
Mm-hmm.
but
Everywhere. No.
I can't be plugged into other people's psyches, because I'm very psychic. So I can plug into people's psyches subconsciously, not consciously, because I don't use it like that. But subconsciously, I can plug into somebody's mind and I can get their field of thoughts. It's very, very natural for me to do that. I get it all the time. And I've had to learn how to just stop. I don't want to be in anybody else's head. Like it's a minefield in there. Even when I'm working with people, I just go, no, no, no. Like let them come to me. They have to come to me and let me know how they are. I don't want to go in and tell them how they are. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I just feel good is
Yeah.
all I know right now. I just
Yeah.
feel really good. And
Good.
um, if I have fractals that are struggling out there, would they not benefit from me being my deepest
Oh,
potential?
yeah. That's what I want to say to you. Yeah, you keep on focusing on your work as Biba
Yeah.
and
I,
be just be your deepest potential because you are it. Yeah.
how about this? If I'm suffering means having a hard day in this day
Hmm.
and age, right? If I'm struggling, would I would, the quantum entanglement, I would attract my other fractal selves into my energy field, into my awareness. And perhaps that's what I'm picking up, because that's resonance.
Yeah.
If I'm if I'm resonating at my deepest potential, I will then attract all the parts of me that are doing the same.
Hmm.
So then I can plug into that.
Yeah. But you
Perhaps
need,
that's what's happening.
yeah, but you need to bring it all home. Shadow
Yeah.
and light. Bring it
Hmm.
into balance. So your focus right now is your intention and all the information you gained from this part of you. And just shock the system, Biba, and just get out of that fucking mind loop.
Yeah, it's a mind loop.
Yeah.
And you asked a question like, what would you say if they were parts of you that were looking for help? See, I'm very aware of the mind control and the manipulation of consciousness in this realm. I'm aware of that. I'm aware of a lot of stuff that is in our minds is not our own.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of programming. through all sorts of things that our thoughts are being influenced. Everybody knows this. They're being influenced by our environments, by advertising, but they're also being influenced by radio waves. So I'm aware of that, and that's just the way this place works. However, if my other selves, if in parallel lives, are struggling, I will, of course, integrate them into where I'm at now to rebalance and harmonize. But I would have to make sure that that's what's happening, and
Mhm.
I'm not being distracted by some incoherent frequencies that are trying to distract me.
Yeah.
There has
Yeah.
to be clarity for me around that.
Mm.
Otherwise, I'll go, well, it's all part of me. Well, maybe it's not all part of me. And I tend take on all this suffering. I don't want to take on lots of suffering. I'm kind of done suffering like you. Are
Yeah.
you done? Are you done suffering?
I'm done. I'm really done. I only want what's real, Biba.
Yeah,
I
me
only
too.
want what's real. So just for you, Biba, just to integrate all these beautiful information, this knowledge and this wisdom that this part of you presented to you, and just to make it a way of life for yourself and make a little bit of more joy then, okay? Take your time just to integrate all of this and say thank you for the planet that you were on, the relationship that you had with that planet who provided everything for you. You only have to think about it and it's there. And you are in contact with all life as a unity. That part of you is you. And you can bring it into this reality also, just to gain from it. Just to escape the mind control and just have that pure consciousness, that pure awareness that you are in that field of unity, far beyond the matrix, so you can be in this world, but not of this world. And I'm gonna end this session by thanking you